The difference between a basic outfit and an expensive looking one is contrast. Too much contrast and the outfit starts to feel harsh. No contrast and it looks flat and faceless. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to control it and how small changes can completely transform the way your outfits look.
Be good, stay good.
Hello my beautiful people, a warm welcome back to my channel. My name is Elena and I'm a professional stylist, and today I'm sharing my secrets on how to transform a basic outfit into something chic and expensive looking. So let me show you something interesting. This is what I call raw contrast. Nothing is blended here. The contrast is completely unblended, and that's why it feels so harsh. Black and white, and then this very saturated red on top. Every element is clearly separated. Nothing blends, nothing softens. So instead of working together, the outfit starts to look very cut into pieces. And this is the tricky part. High contrast like this can easily start to feel a bit harsh, not because of the pieces themselves, but because the contrast is just too strong for the eye to process as one look. Now watch what happens when I lower the contrast just a little. I'm keeping the same base, but instead of that sharp red, I'm bringing in a softer blue, and already the transition starts to feel smoother. But here's the interesting part. It's not just about the color of the cardigan. Even something as small as swapping the bag from black to navy starts to reduce that gap even more. And yes, I also swapped the black shoes for the white ones to lower the contrast even more and to elongate the silhouette. When your shoes blend in with the color of your pants, it creates a much more streamlined and elegant look. So instead of having these very strong breaks in the outfit, everything begins to sit closer together. The colors relate to each other. The contrast is still there, but it's not extreme anymore, and that's when the outfit starts to feel more refined, not because we removed contrast, but because we brought it under control. And here I'm actually wearing a full LilySilk look. This is from their Mediterranean Muse spring collection. A lot of you already shop there, so you know their focus on quality fabrics like silk and cashmere, while keeping the design very classic and refined. You can really see it in pieces like this. This cardigan, for example, it's a silk and cashmere blend, so it's very lightweight but still warm and soft. And the top is this very smooth silk jersey. It doesn't create extra volume, it just follows the body. They also have it in a soft off-white color, which is perfect for layering. The pants are silk as well, and they are fully lined, which is actually quite rare for silk pants. It makes a big difference in how they sit and how they move. So yeah, all the main pieces in today's video are from LilySilk, and for this kind of refined and effortless aesthetic, they are a really strong example. And now looping back to the original outfit, both versions with a black top and a white top underneath feel much softer and more pleasing to the eye. You just choose the level of contrast that complements your complexion and your personal preferences, but overall more controlled, more like gentle contrast tends to create a more expensive and elegant look. All of the links are waiting for you down below in the description box, along with all the needed information for you to recreate my outfits, and we're moving on. And let's go to the other extreme. This is what happens when there's almost no contrast in the outfit at all. Everything is soft, everything blends, and the result is it just feels a bit faceless. There's no tension, no focal point, nothing to hold your attention. So instead of adding color, I'm adding one printed piece in the same neutral palette. I bring in this striped silk button down, still very calm, still very classic, but now we have rhythm. Those lines create direction, they guide the eye, and now the outfit feels styled, not just worn. And as always, details matter. Even something as simple as rolling up the sleeves make a difference. It makes the look feel a bit more alive, a bit more effortless. Then I add my signature necklace just because this is my favorite piece to create a focal point. And I mean, once the base is this quiet, you need at least one or two elements that give the eye something to hold on to. That's what we call a focal point. And if you want to take it in a more creative direction, this is the trick I've been wanting to use for a long time, starting with the same base layer, but this time I'm wrapping the scarf over my hips, and this scarf is honestly perfect for it. The fabric is dense, it holds the shape beautifully, and it's wrinkle-resistant fabric, so it actually works as a layering piece, not just an accessory. And yeah, I'll link everything down below. So here you can also see this tank top that I picked for my summer outfits and also as a layering piece for spring. It's super soft and it's a silk blend, which makes it perfect for the season. So in this case, instead of adding contrast through color, I'm adding it through print, through layering, and through construction, and that's what makes the outfit feel more elevated while still keeping that soft, neutral mood. So here's the before and two upgraded versions using the same idea, where I add a soft geometric print to create dimension and solve that flat, faceless feel. And the third way to fix this kind of flat, low contrast look is to go for texture. So instead of adding color like we did in the first part today, or adding pattern like in the previous look, here I'm adding something much more subtle but still very effective: texture. In this case, I'm wearing this jacquard silk set, so from a distance it still looks very soft, very minimal, but when you get closer you start to see the delicate pattern in the fabric itself, and that's what creates interest without breaking the palette. I especially love this blouse. It has this very unique, slightly architectural cut, very fluid but still structured at the same time. And this skirt continues that same idea, very clean silhouette but with that soft jacquard texture running through it, so the whole look stays calm but not boring. And then I added this bag because a subtle print like a snake print works really well here. It almost reads like texture but a bit more enhanced, a bit more visible, so it complements the outfit instead of competing with it. And this is a great example of how you can build interest in an outfit without relying on strong contrast at all. And I love this silk set from LilySilk. It has that feminine, delicate feel but it still looks very modern. Okay, moving on. So this one is sort of similar to look 1 today in this video in terms of raw contrast that's at its maximum level. But here the problem is a bit different. It's not just that the contrast is too strong, it's that it's broken into two parts with nothing in between. You have black on top and then another black element like scarf sitting again on black, so it's like black on black, and then a very light bottom, so your eye keeps jumping between these 2 points and the outfit feels a bit like disjointed, disconnected. So instead of just lowering contrast like we did before, I start connecting it. I add pieces in between to visually lower the gap. First, I softened the black into navy. Now it already feels more cohesive, but then we're left with this problem of this belt. Now it feels a bit out of place, like it's just sitting on its own. So I swap it for a lighter one, a light beige belt. It might be a beige or a brown belt. I'm just using what I have in my wardrobe. And now look at this. Instead of separate contrast points, we're creating a flow. And if I want to push it even further, I add something in between like this light blue scarf. Now the contrast is not jumping, it's transitioning, it's interwoven. And yes, I'm using my hands a lot today, basically like conducting the whole explanation. Hope that's okay with you. Yeah, so that's a really important point to understand here. That's the difference. It's not about removing contrast, it's about controlling it. Because once you soften those sharp transitions, the outfit instantly starts to feel more expansive and more dimensional and more fluid and more cohesive. cohesive. Okay, next one. This look fails for a similar reason like I mentioned earlier in the all-white look, even though visually it's very different from anything we've seen so far. When everything sits in the same deep dark tone, the outfit just goes flat. And my main issue here is that it feels heavy and honestly a bit lifeless. So instead of fixing contrast like we did before, here I'm creating hierarchy. So first I go monochromatic. I stay within the same navy tone just because I love navy. You can go with black, it's easier. But now it looks not accidental, but it's still flat, right? So next step, I introduce clean contrast. I swap the dark brown shoes for off-white ones, and I support that contrast in the portrait zone. I add white base layer, this tank top underneath, and finally I add interest like this snake print bag. It works almost like a texture, subtle but enough to break the predictability, and now the outfit gets sharper, more refined, more polished. Now your eye has a clear path. From top to bottom, everything connects, everything is interwoven, and now the outfit feels alive. And that's the difference. It's not about adding random pieces, it's about building the look in layers, and that's what makes an outfit look expensive. And there's another way to fix this look. You can go for tonal contrast. In this case, I start with the same navy base and I add a lighter blue on top. So now it's not flat anymore, it's the same color just in different depth. That's what creates that soft layered, more expensive effect. It has that contrast just within one color, and the contrast comes from using different levels of lightness within one, just same one color, like dark blue paired with light blue. And the best part, you can actually do this with any color you can imagine, like pink with burgundy, or beige with brown if you prefer something more quiet, or even pale green with khaki green. I love this color combination so much. So I'm showing you different examples of the same idea so you can easily catch the pattern. Same color family, different tones. So now you can see how it all comes together. It's not about adding more, it's not about avoiding contrast, it's about controlling it. Because once you do, your outfits instantly start to look more refined and more chic. And thank you to LilySilk for partnering with me on this one. You'll find all the details and links in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one.
Summer love.
Okay, I can see that you're still sitting here in front of your screen, and it means you are ready to watch another video on my channel. My recommendation would be get more out of your skirts. Styling tips for every type of this skirt that sits in your wardrobe. I've created more than 20, I think it was like 22 outfits with the skirts for spring. So I bet you would love this one. Click, click, see you there.